Let's talk about, this is fitting with this vault, let's talk about update 13, the December update. There are some new things coming in update 13. One of them is that monolith as an objective is disappearing. It will get replaced by a similar objective, and I shall spill the beans. It will be replaced by a similar objective called Light the Braziers. And the way it's gonna work is that your objective is to find braziers, they look very similar to monoliths, in rooms. But every brazier will have a modifier. And early game, before level 50, the modifiers will most likely always be positive. But after level 50, there will also be some negative modifiers. And you will get a goal of say, light 10 of them. And these modifiers will, for example, be increase item quantity, or increase your damage, or, you know, in one way or another, buff you or the vault. And then when you reach your goal of monoliths, so let's say, or braziers, let's say that it's 10. Then when you reach your goal, it's going to be pillage a brazier instead. So you can destroy them. And that will always generate a negative modifier for you. A harsh modifier, such as mana leak in worst case scenario. But it will also give you loot. Treasure key, trinkets, that's the high end. Most of the time though, you're just gonna get soot when you break them. But there is a chance that you get something really good. This will do two things to this monolith quote-unquote objective. It will make it valuable to plan what monoliths you light instead of just going for a right click. Like for example, if you have 10 monoliths that you need to light, that's the amount of modifiers you can get on your vault, right? 10. But then if you get one that gives you a negative thing on your vault, maybe you don't want to light it. Maybe you want to save that and you know, find another one to light that gives you extra loot or whatever. I think, all in all, I think that this is going to make the monolith objective fun. I'm actually looking forward to it. And with it, we're also getting a seal for it. The seal of the scout. Can you see what the modifier is? Yes. Yes, you get to choose. It renders above the brazier. It says like treasure, for example. That's a really good modifier, a rare one. Because yeah, there are rare ones, by the way. There are like plus 100% mana regen, plus 50% item rarity. There are these super ones, and then there are the ordinary ones, and then there are bad ones. So I'm very excited about that. We've been working hard on that. Then another change is coming, and I think this might have leaked somewhere, because I keep hearing it. But guys, we are changing cake vaults a little bit in update 13. The cake vault change is actually it's a small big change, and it is to incentivize and make cakes a little bit more rewarding visually to run. But it also is to remove the RNG from cake vaults. We're putting a cake pedestal in every single room. Boom. You can exit the vault and win it in the first room. But the crate itself, so the reward crate, scales with the amount of cakes that you have eaten. If you choose to eat the cake or eat the crate in the first room, you're going to come out with a crate that has a very, very minimal chance of an artifact. I think it's 1 in 200 will have an artifact. Whereas if you eat, I think currently what's being tested is 40 cakes. If you eat 40 cakes, then you will have a full crate. If you eat 80 cakes, then you will have a double filled crate. Yeah, so 40 cakes is the old crate. Exactly, kind of like that. That's where you hit the 20% artifact chance. If you eat 80 cakes, then you have a 40% artifact chance, etc, etc, etc. Another change we're making is every time you eat a cake, you won't get 4 different modifiers. You will get one modifier that contains a lot of different things. No longer will the item quantity go up. Item quantity will stay the same. Item rarity, however, will go up slightly. Soul chance, as in the amount of soul shards you get by killing mobs, will go up. The mobs will become more difficult. They will be faster, healthier, and do more damage. There's a 1 in 50, sorry. There's a 1 in 50 that you add a mega curse. And all of the chests will cascade. And the vault will become plentiful. So, you will see more chests in the vault. Instead of doing item quantity, more gilded chests will appear. More ornate chests will appear. More wooden chests will appear. That's great, because it fixes two things. First of all, it gives you a visual indicator of the vault getting better. Right? You're going to clearly see a difference between 0 cakes and 40 cakes. And second, no longer do you have to sit and worry about, oh, should I go back? Should I save this room till later? Like, that mechanic of running back and forth, it's not that fun, in my opinion. Like, it's kind of boring. But yeah, so those are, I believe, the main two features of Update 13, the December update. We have also in the background, we have also built the support for unique items that is coming, but it's not making it into Update 13. We have the backend for it, but we don't have the models, we don't have all the items, etc. But unique items are coming, and they have been built in, been prepared for, so to speak. Unique items are predetermined Vault Gear items. They have a different color, it's its own rarity. They're not necessarily better, but they can be in best niche in slot. For example, you can get a chest plate that has no armor, but it has movement speed instead. Which makes it the only chest plate with movement speed, because you can't roll movement speed on chest plates. I think the game in general is in a very good state at the moment. I think that the game is very enjoyable. It's just that my brain has so many more things that I want to do. One thing that we are currently talking about a lot in the development team, and the Hermitcraft playthrough has really helped this, is more multiplayer integration. Me and Pepperfly spoke yesterday about making a seal that will make the vault into a Hubba vault. Or into an Abba vault. Automatically. So everything you loot will get automatically given to whoever wins the vault, as in gets the most experience. Most points in that vault. Because there was one flaw in the Habba event. And the flaw was, and it wasn't really, it didn't really matter because there were so many hermits. But it wasn't really beneficial to loot everything, right? This was partly because the scav was so low level, it was level 30. Instead of like level 50 where you have more golds and it's like a longer scav. But it's also in the nature of like trying to complete the objective first, while you will loot only what you need to loot. You will not loot more. Imagine if instead the criteria would be whoever gets the most points in the vault wins. Imagine that as a criteria. Now all of a sudden the loot is going to be incredible because, well, looting chests gives you points. So we're talking about a concept to make that into the game and to make that part of the game. We also have a really exciting plan for the greed vaults, the level 100 vaults, that I think everyone who's played Vault Hunters will enjoy. Update 14, so the February update or whatever, will also include some new modifiers, some new type of modifiers, not just the same that we have had. I'm currently also thinking about like redoing Catalyst system. It's great if you have played the game, it's great if you're at end game. But as you play through the game, it doesn't feel very intuitive. It feels a little bit disconnected, a little bit old. There are a lot of things still to come. Like I really do want to do more mob diversity in the game. I think that more mobs, more unique mobs are good. The problem with mobs is that it's a heavy development part. AI is very difficult to program correctly, and you have the fact that it has to have a model with animations that's expensive or like hard to come by. All of these things. We're also constantly in Vault Hunters development. We're also constantly making polish changes, updates, things like that, which is exciting. Oh yeah, that's actually one change that I know about that we've already done in development, and that is God Altars will, in Update 13, give you a reward when completing them, like an item. In addition to the chance of getting a reputation point and a favor, you also get an item or loot. But If you want that loot item, you'll have to go back to the altar. And then on the contrary, we are removing the return to altar on all difficulties so that they will just auto-complete when you complete the challenge. But if you want the item, it will spawn back at the altar where you took it, where you picked it up. I think that's a great middle way. Yeah, so exciting stuff with update 13. I think hopefully we can have it out in the holidays, like in the middle days there. Are they called middle days in English? They're called middle day in Swedish, actually. Mellandagarna.